Welcome to the Nonno Giorgio and Rory Cooking Italian for Weight Loss channel. We have entrees, desserts, tips and tricks. We welcome you to our channel. We hope you make some of these recipes, enjoy them with your friends and family. Today's recipe is a Spanish one, paella. If you like this video, hit the like button, thumbs up, below the video. If you haven't yet subscribed, hit the subscribe button, followed by the bell all to get notified of all new videos we produce when they come out. Thank you. Just look at the paella cooking in the pan, and then we serve it in individual servings. So delicious. Hi, welcome back to the Nonno Giorgio and Rory Cooking Italian for Weight Loss. But today we're going to Spain for paella.
Whoa, that is so exciting for me because I grew up eating the best paella in the world. My family, when we were in Mexico, which was some of the time, my family would have what they call a dia de campo, which is the whole family packs up in the car and they pack up all the stuff they need for the day, and we get to some beautiful spot in the countryside, and my aunt would make a huge paella. There might have been 20-30 people in this outing. The guys would all play football, which is soccer to you guys. And my aunt would cook this paella all day over the coals. And I just have the happiest childhood memories from those days with my wonderful tia Prima Toyi and tia Victoria and tio Abelardo. So, I'm getting very emotional.
And I remember I visited southern Spain, well, I was in my 20s, I guess, and an area called Torremolinos. And they had these paella dishes about 5 times the size of the one we had. It took 2 guys to lift it onto the coals and then off. And they'd cook it outside, and then they'd plate this, and it was a huge meal.
Yeah.
Also, for vegetarians, if you eat fish, you can do like we're going to do. We're going to do a fish version of this, and we're going to use sausage, but one of our Beyond sausage links.
Yeah.
In Spain, you can order either the fish version, which doesn't have the chorizo, and it's just a fish and vegetable, or you can order the normal one, which has chicken and chorizo and so on.
Yeah, it's a wonderful dish. It has a million ingredients, but it's not really hard to cook, and we'll tell you all about it as we go through it. It's called Paella Valenciana because it originally came from Valencia, Spain. But now, if you look, there's 5,000 recipes in all different ways for it. So.
And some of them aren't very Spanish.
No, I saw one that had called for Thai red pepper and soy sauce and Thai fish sauce. I thought, that's not paella, but anything can be anything you want it to be, right? You just make what you like, that's all.
Now, the only other thing that we're not going to use today because we don't have it, which is good in this dish, is baby clams. So we get the tender baby clam one, but we're not going to have that today. All right, let's take a look at what goes into Rory's dish. And the way she makes it, this is one of my favorite dishes.
Thank you. So the base for this dish is rice, and this happens to be rice for paella. But you don't have to look for that. You can use any kind of short grain white rice because that's what you use in this dish. You can even use risotto rice if you have it handy. And long grain, it tastes a little bit different, but it's fine too. And then we have another key ingredient is saffron. And these are saffron threads, which we're going to add a little hot water to so that they let out their aroma and their flavor. And this is what makes the rice look yellow in paella. The other ingredients, typically you have peas, you have peppers, and this time we happen to have some fire roasted red peppers, which look beautiful, and we had an orange pepper, which will also look lovely, and here's our rice. So we're trying to minimize this recipe because it makes so much, but we have a cup of rice and 2 cups of broth, and we use vegetable broth, obviously, because we're vegetarian. And then we have oregano and parsley for, you know, additional flavor at the end. And I put a little bit of cloves in it too, because I think cloves gives it a nice flavor. And then we have our seafood, and George already explained. We have our plant-based sausage, a few shrimp, a few mussels, and some mahi mahi. You want to pick a fish that's dense and kind of thick, because if you use a light fish, it kind of falls apart and you lose it. You can also use chorizo, you can use pork, chicken, any, you know, as we keep saying, use whatever you have on hand and make it the way you like it.
And onions and garlic, of course.
Of course. Okay, so the way we're going to do this is you're going to saute the seafood and the fish first, because the rice takes a while to cook. So if you cook the seafood and the fish with the rice, it sort of gets overcooked. So we're going to just give all the seafood and the sausage a little saute, and then what we'll do is take it out and we will add it to the rice a little bit before it's completely cooked, so that the flavors can blend in. So the fish and the shrimp are getting a little cooked, and this is our plant-based sausage. Unfortunately, it doesn't stay solid, but it'll taste good in the dish.
And they're not going to take much at the end, because the shrimp, I can tell, are almost cooked.
Right.
And the mussels we use have already been cooked. They have like a garlic sauce on them, and they're just ready to go.
Yeah. We're going to let that sit there for a second.
And one ingredient we forgot was red wine. But this wine isn't for the dish, it's for the master chef and her assistant, Nonno Giorgio.
That wine does not go in the food this time.
They're just about done.
Okay, yep, I'm going to take all this out and reserve it for later. So it's almost done, the seafood and the fish. Okay, so we're going to set that aside. And now, so in addition to having pre-cooked all this wonderful seafood and sausage, we're going to have a really nice little sofrito sort of under the in the pan for when we put the rice in. So that'll give it some flavor too. Okay. We'll just take out.
The flavors all melt together, and this way the mussels are opening up and they're taking on the flavors that are in the pan.
And I have to tell you, it already smells amazing, and we're just barely getting started, so. Okay. Just do the oil as you see. It needs it. Okay. So here we go. We're going to do our garlic and onion. I'm going to turn it down a little bit because it's very hot now. And here's our garlic. My assistant chopped all this up beautifully. She gets a lot of credit. Okay.
So we did what, about 3 cloves of garlic and a cup and a quarter of onions.
Right.
We did a half of orange bell pepper.
And these are fire roasted red peppers.
Maybe a quarter cup of those.
You know, the visual is so important in cooking, and that's why you always, in the back of your mind, want to be thinking about how the dish is going to look. You know, is it going to look pretty when you serve it? Is it going to look appetizing? So keep that in mind. Okay, now we have rice over. Now, I always like to toast rice before I boil it, and I think that might be a Mexican thing that I picked up from my Mexican family.
So we also do that with the risotto.
Right, so it's Italian too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They come better when they're toasted.
I think what it does is it kind of seals the seed, the rice seed, and it doesn't turn mushy. So we're gonna let that sit for a minute. The onion's looking good, it's getting transparent, and our peppers are, and you scrape the bottom, you've got this nice burnt stuff. We have 1 cup of rice and 2 cups of water. Not water, I'm sorry. Chicken broth. But of course we use vegetable broth. This is the beautiful saffron. You take the threads and you put a little hot water in them, and they start, you know, getting the color and the flavor that you need for this dish. Okay. Oh my goodness.
Smells so good.
It does. I'm smelling the Dia de Campo. I can hear my cousin Eloy yelling as he plays soccer. He was a star soccer player. And here we go. Okay, I think we're going to put our saffron in, and we're going to put our vegetable broth.
First time I met her cousin Eloy was in Spain. Well, we went there for the flamingo contest, and one of his favorite sayings was, "Is everything okay?" So he would always say, "George, is everything okay?" Well, today I can tell Eloy that everything is fantastic because we're making paella. Are you happy?
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. We've got our bases. We've got our rice cooking, and I'm going to add a little bit of oregano to it. And as I said, I like a little bit of cloves. Just gives it a little sweetness. Okay. So now we're going to let this cook until the rice is almost done, maybe 10 minutes before it's completely done. And you have to let it simmer, covered tightly. And then we're going to add the seafood back. We're going to put our peas in and our decorative parsley. Okay, yeah, so it's probably about 5 minutes from done. So here we are, we're checking on our rice and it's looking perfect. And now we're going to add all of our seafood back in.
And sausage.
And our fish and sausage, thank you. And we're gonna let it cook just a little bit longer because it's not quite done, and then we want all these flavors to blend together. See, the shrimp are pink, and that means that food keeps cooking when you take it off the heat because it's got internal heat temperature. So, and here we go. And we're very close to our final step.
And then we get to taste.
The best part of all. Okay, we're gonna add in our peas and
just look at the colors.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. So in 5 or 10 minutes, the rice will be dried out. All the flavors will be blended together. I need to spread these peas out a little bit. Yeah, always our alarm. Okay. And we're just going to do a little bit of parsley. Parsley lends a little flavor and it gives a pretty color, so that's good.
Rory's using her favorite tool, the herb scissors.
The things you get attached to. Like I'm very attached to George. More than my scissors. I have to admit.
Not bad for a no-no.
Okay, we're gonna let this finish cooking. And we're almost there.
So here we are at our favorite part of each of these videos, the tasting.
Yeah.
And we've got the paella plated, and we're going to give it a taste.
Yep.
We seasoned a little bit of salt before taking it out of the pan.
It was a little bland, so hopefully that did it.
So good. The rice is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
The shrimp are great. The flavors, they're wonderful.
Yeah, and it looks beautiful.
You should make this dish.
I hope you do, and it'll bring you a taste of Spain.
So if you like this video or you want to make it, hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, come on. Rory cries every night because people don't subscribe to us. Please subscribe.
I do. They don't love us.
And hit the bell next to the subscribe. And remember, we have our 2 cookbooks out. The ebook version that you can cook on your iPads, and the paperback version that you can put paper clips in and write notes and all kinds of things. So go to Amazon and search for Nonno Giorgio and Rory and you'll find it. For now,
adios.
Ciao and arrivederci.
Adios.
Adios. We hope you have enjoyed our channel. If you have, please hit the subscribe button below and the bell next to it so you get notified of new videos when they come out.